You already know what it is. Live, raw, and unapologetic. Welcome to the K.L.P. Aftermath Podcast. Where the stories hit harder, the culture gets louder, and the aftermath, always legendary. It's more than a podcast, it's the takeover. Turn it up and lock in, because K.L.P. is in the building. You're locked into the vibe that sets the tone. It's K.L.P. Aftermath, first take, where we break it down, spark the conversation, and get you warmed up before the main event drops with Kennedy Lucas. Fresh, unfiltered, and laying the groundwork. Stay tuned because the man himself, Kennedy Lucas, takes over next. This is the Aftermath. You heard it first.
Okay, so Marie, have you been keeping up with Kai Cenat's new Mafia-thon? I just saw it started September 1st and I'm already hooked, you know? Oh, Nora, absolutely. My friends, they were all over it. It's such a spectacle. These month-long events, there's something else. Not just a regular subathon, you know? He goes all out with the extended time frame and rotating cast. Right. He commits to a whole month. That's insane. And having all these different people just popping in, it keeps things so fresh. It's a whole production. It truly is. A well-oiled machine of entertainment. I remember Mafiathon 2, but this one, the first guest just set the tone, don't you think? It really showed the scale of Mafiathon 3. Okay, so let's talk about that first guest because, whoa, Kim Kardashian, right? With Saint? I was not expecting that at all. How does he even get these people, you know? Exactly. It's quite the coup. And she wasn't just, phoning it in. She brought Saint, which was adorable. That little motivational speech, it was actually quite sweet for her to be so relatable. Yeah, and then the noodle game? Did you see her and Saint just throwing a table at him? His chair totally took the hit. That's some serious commitment to the bit, you know? Oh, the noodle game was pure chaos. I loved it. And it's not her first time in his orbit. She introduced Mafiathon 2 with that Sopranos trailer, remember? Their connection, it's actually deeper. So it's not just Kim K. When you look back at Mafiathon 2, the list of guests was just insane, right? Serena Williams, Snoop Dogg, Shaza. It's like a who's who. Is this really just a stream or something more, like a modern variety show? That's exactly it, Nora. It's so much more. The article even mentions comparisons to iCarly, which is so spot on. It has that spontaneous, fun variety show vibe where anything can happen. Miranda Cosgrove herself even showed up. Wow, Miranda Cosgrove too? That's pretty meta. And then Chris Brown, Kevin Hart, Drewski, the star power he pulls in is really incredible. It's a mix of everything, which is why it's so captivating, right? Always someone new. Precisely. He's built this incredible platform where these huge names want to engage with his audience. It's a testament to his influence, actually. It's a curated entertainment, bringing up the biggest stars directly to his viewers. Very smart, very avant-garde. Okay, so beyond the celebrity appearances, he's got this massive goal for Mafiathon 3, right? Trying to hit 1 million subscribers. That's wild. He already holds the record, doesn't he? So this is a huge jump. What do you think his chances are? It's incredibly ambitious, but knowing Kai, he always aims high. He's currently sitting at, around 150,000 active subscribers? So, he needs to really, really push. But if anyone can do it, it's him, right? He has this, magical touch with his audience. And the incentive he's offering if he hits it. LeBron James cutting his hair? Like, seriously? That's such a massive promise. Do you think LeBron would actually follow through with that? That'd be legendary, wouldn't it? Oh, I absolutely think LeBron would. Kai has such pull in the sports and pop culture world now. If he reaches that milestone, the publicity alone would be huge. LeBron's not shy about engaging with cultural moments. It would be iconic, truly. So, looking at all this, the celebrities, the wild goals, the month-long format, what do you think is the bigger picture here? Is Kai Cenat just raising the bar for streamers? Or is this something totally new in terms of, how we consume entertainment? I think it's both, actually, Nora. He's absolutely raising the bar, pushing the boundaries of what streaming can be. It's not just about gaming anymore. It's about live, unscripted, celebrity-driven variety entertainment. He's basically created a new genre, That's a really good point. It's like he's taken the best parts of traditional media and put it into this interactive digital format. And the audience gets to be a part of it, which is huge. It's not just passive viewing, right? They're invested. Exactly. He's built a community, really. And these mafiathons, they're not just events for him. They're cultural touchstones for his audience. They talk about it, they celebrate the wins, they anticipate the next big guest. It's truly fascinating to watch this
You already know what it is. Live, raw, and unapologetic. Welcome to the K.L.P. Aftermath Podcast. Where the stories hit harder, the culture gets louder, and the aftermath, always legendary. It's more than a podcast, it's the takeover. Turn it up and lock in, because K.L.P. is in the building.
Go, what's going on in Hot Atlanta? Live from Swanky 93.3 and the Heat 94.6 brings back the hottest hip-hop radio show live from K.L.P. Entertainment and K.L.P. Studios. It's K.L.P. Aftermath. Your host, K.L.P. Kennedy Lucas.
You know what it is? Put your hands up.
Tune in now on any audio platform.
Go.
Boy, howdy, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome. Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to another exciting podcast here today. Ladies and gentlemen, you're tuned into that.
You're tuned into the swanky one, new K.L.P.
Yes, sir. Yes, you are tuned into that new K.L.P. Welcome back to the podcast, ladies and gentlemen. This is the K.L.P. Aftermath Podcast presented by K.L.P. Entertainment and our Hard Media. We hope that everybody's ready for another exciting podcast, because let me tell you about this podcast. We've got a jam-packed show here today. We've got a couple of reviews to give you guys, and of course, a couple of things that come out to it. And then if you guys tuned into the K.L.P. Aftermath First Take, always a good show, always a good thing to have there as well at the beginning of the show, before the show. So we hope that everybody enjoy the content that we have going out. And let me tell you guys something. We're very excited for this episode. You know, the day after Labor Day, it is the 2nd. And let me tell you, boy, howdy. August got out of here like it had somewhere to be, T. Yes. So happy September. Boy, howdy. Let me tell you. Let me tell you what's going on, T. You know, I popped outside this morning and I had to get ready for the gym, get ready for my normal day. And when I tell you I popped outside and it felt a little more breezier than normal, ladies and gentlemen. It got a little bit more breezier. You know, the wind's kind of coming in. The green is looking a little orange, a little orange when it comes down to it. And if you guys don't know what I'm referring to, it's getting cooler. Fall season's almost here. We're approaching September, and I look forward to it. I look forward to the growth of September, and then before you know it, we'll be in October, and before you know, we'll be in November, and we'll be officially in the fall season. So we hope that everybody is having a great September start. It's the beginning of the month. It's the beginning of a reset. Getting away from the summertime now. We're getting ready to dabble more into the winter season. or the fall season first, and then the winter season. It feels really good. For all of you guys who celebrated Labor Day yesterday, shout out to y'all. I mean, really, I take Labor Day as a just off day. Technically, we K.L.P Entertainment, we wouldn't really off. When it comes down to it, we still, of course, I paid my staff a little extra for Labor Day, but we still had Bro Code podcast to do. Like, we still had some shows to do. A lot of the media, if you in media, film, movies, TV shows, talk shows, you don't really take time off on a holiday that much. Unless it's Christmas and Thanksgiving, obviously, yes. But like Labor Day is still a work day for many, many people. But if you're able to celebrate Labor Day and just take a day off, hey, by all means. So we got some great things to talk about here today. A little bit of housekeeping news for K.L.P Entertainment. I'm very, very excited for it. You guys know, if you follow me on social media, you know that our new album is getting ready to come out. Big shout out to Swinky Music. Big shout out to Swinky Records and Kennedy Lucas Music. If you guys know, you know, I dabble in R&B. It's no secret that I do, R&B music. Me and Dravion got this new album. It's called Crown Me Savage. And let me tell you, that album is, we are redefining R&B. Right, that's what we're trying to do. We're redefining R&B. So if you guys know, Crown Me Savage Act 1 will be out September 4th. That is this Thursday. Get ready for it. If you are up Wednesday at midnight, you get to have early access listen at midnight on, Wednesday, 12 o'clock. As we turn to Thursday, midnight, you can listen to it. And then it comes out officially worldwide on Thursday. I can't wait. That is an album that we've been cooking up for months now. And you guys know, because I talked about the album in the last episode, but me and Dravion, we got to the studio, and we were able to not only get to the studio and give good content and good things, but a lot of people had the opportunity to come into the studio, and we produced some tracks and wrote down some songs, and we laid them tracks down. Right, I'm very, very excited for Act 1. We hope that everybody enjoy this one, because 2025 has been the success year of K.L.P Entertainment when it comes down to music, and I think I like it. I like making music. It's really, really fun for me to make music. We don't necessarily do it for the views. We don't do it for the money. We just do it because we enjoy it. And people actually do listen to it. So we hope that everybody relate to the songs and relate to what we got going on. Season finale of Eden Prime Horizons is this week. Very, very excited. But let me tell you something, though. The season finale is this week. But also next week will be the premiere of Teasing Hearts. You guys know Sienna Crosswell and I, we work together on a anime type show, romantic comedy type show, and it's called Teasing Hearts. Again, that's going to be premiering next week as well. So when we alleviate one series for the season, we're coming back with a whole nother new season of another show. So we hope that everybody enjoy the shows from Oasis Originals. Let me tell you, those shows are just, they're bangers after bangers, and we hope everybody enjoy it. We hope everybody enjoy the show series that we have going on, and this is going to be something that we're going to be, just dabbling into, and we just truly, truly hope that everybody enjoy the series that we have coming out, and when it comes down to it. And I think what we might do, right, when it comes down to the seasons in the series, we try to innovate different ways to get the shows premiered. Now, of course, yes, we've have an exclusive contract with Spotify when it comes down to Spotify for video. We do. But I'm working on a deal for Instagram and Facebook Watch to have those episodes out there. The reason why we're doing that is because not only we get the viewership plays on Spotify, but we notice a market a lot right now, Instagram and Facebook Watch. We get a lot of views over there. Surprisingly, we do, especially for Instagram. So what will happen if we bring the show right to your phone, right? Where you could just go on Instagram and there's a new episode right there. You could just watch right there, right in your phone, and just see that buzz. Now, we couldn't do that with Influencer City, right? We couldn't do that with Eden Prime Horizons because that's exclusive. But we're changing the way we do our TV series now. And I think that's what we're going to do with K.L.P Entertainment. when it comes down to it. So stay tuned for that. If you're on Instagram next week and you see episode 1 of Teasing Hard on your Instagram, you know we were able to get it done. But that new season, that new series is coming out. I'm very, very excited for that. I'm just excited for the TV series because that's just something that we work really, really hard on to it. And that's pretty much what we got on the docket for now. Documentary that we're still working on is still working. And, you know, we're still podcasting. Bro Code Podcast, by the way. If you guys know, yesterday we did, we did a 2-hour show on Bro Code Podcast ATL yesterday. Let me tell y'all something. I didn't anticipate the show being 2 hours, but like, I think that's going to be the new thing with Bro Code Podcast is to reach that 2-hour mark. If not on Wednesday or Thursday's episodes, most likely your Monday episodes of Bro Code Podcast try to do 2-hour content because, you know, I want to share from Friday's game that we're at with me, Tyler, and Marcus down to Chloe having her story, T having your story, Jackson having his story. You know, I think we're going to continue that target of having the show 2 hours. We'll wait to see what happens with that. I can't wait to see what will happen to that. But if you guys know, the episode is out now streaming Bro Code Podcast ATL Monday's episode, 2 hours, 2-hour show. Very, very excited for that. Now, let's get on to the weekend, right? You know, I like to tell the stories here, and I think this actually might be my top story here today when it comes down to it. Let me get my button loaded up here, but here's the top story.
Some of y'all might know this, and some of y'all don't.
Let's do it. K.L.P. has all the topics,
Yeah, we do.
stories, and gossip. It is now time for our top story from K.L.P.
Yeah, so ladies and gentlemen, the top story is kind of myself a little bit when it comes down to the weekend. So if you guys know, you know. This weekend was very, very good. First and foremost, Friday we had What Happened Was podcast. Me and Evelyn, we were in the studio doing our thing at per usual. You guys follow us on WHHW Radio 1, by the way, that Instagram. So that way you guys can see the exclusive content that we have out. And, you know, that show is just booming. And that is the show that we're going to continue doing forever now. And it's been a very, very good, exciting show. But I got to talk about Saturday, right? Y'all know what happened on Saturday, right? So I get up early. Taking a shower, put my gym clothes on. I'm in there. I'm working out. I'm doing my thing. I'm pushing, right? Very, very excited because I had to leave. I came to the gym early. I had to leave early. Simply why? Because I had to go get something to eat first. I had to find a charge station to supercharge my car because Saturday was the Breezy Bowl. And I said it in previous podcasts. I said, your boy's going to be at Breezy Bowl in Truist Park, right? We're here in Atlanta. It was a no-brainer for me to go to Chris Brown concert on Saturday. And let me tell you, I'm going to give you guys my whole take of the Breezy Bowl concert. I know if you follow people on TikTok, I think a lot of people will see a lot of Chris Brown content on TikTok as of late. These last 3 days, that's been my whole TikTok feed was Chris Brown, Breeze Bro, right? So I want to give you guys my take on the podcast. So Saturday, we went to Truist Park. I decided to make sure that I was there early, right? Because this is Chris Brown, right? Chris Brown being Chris Brown, everybody will be at this thing. Now, mind you, Chris Brown had a 2-day thing, right? I went on Saturday simply because on Sunday I had to go to church. I'll get to that story in a minute. So I said, okay, I'm going on Saturday, right? Because it's kind of a day off, right? I ended up, going there. I think I arrived around like 4 o'clock, I think, early enough. I prepaid for parking. It was a premium price for parking, but let me tell you, anybody who go to any type of event, whether it's at Truist Park, Mercedes-Benz, or State Farm Arena, it's always good to pre-park and prepay for parking. I remember the last event that I went to was in July. It was WWE Evolution at State Farm. And me and my little brother, we prepaid our parking when we got there. So that way we were guaranteed a spot and a certain type of location so we could just drive out there. And the thing with State Farm, too, they have quite a few parking spaces where you can pull up right at the gate and then you're right in the arena. So my little brother actually planned this thing out with Evolution. They planned that thing really out really well. They parked parking right by one of the gates where we were just like, we hopped out of the car, went through security, boom, you're in the arena and you're at your seat. So planned it out really well. I know and this is a tidbit, everybody who's in Atlanta who goes to concert, whether it's a ball game at Truist Park, a football game at Mercedes-Benz, or an event at State Farm Arena, you want to pre-plan your parking situation. So I ended up pre-planning my parking. I did park in the E section, so it was about a 15-minute walk between, maybe less than that, between my parking and Truist Park. You could not find parking at the actual ballpark. Right, there are parking at the ballpark, but you're spending hundreds upon hundreds upon hundreds to maybe $1,000 in parking. Wasn't gonna do that. So we pulled up, looking fine. Let me tell y'all something. A lot of ladies were in there with them hoochie shorts, skirts. I do agree. I saw some TikToks of some ladies that, didn't really like some of the ladies' attire, right? I've seen some let me tell you something. I'm not fat shaming, T. I'm not. But I did see some ladies that got a belly and they wore a tank top. Let me tell you something. I wish that some of them girls that I saw had better friends. The friends also had a belly and also had the same attire. So they're not going to tell the one girl, like, baby girl, you need to change. They don't look right on you, right? I saw a lot of ladies, and again, I'm not fat shaming, not woman shaming, but I catch these things as a guy, right? The lady got a belly, got a little something extra, right? Thick, had this really too tight tank on, with the belly just flopping all out. I saw one lady that would look like draws, really. I mean, I guess they're shorts, but they look like she just had nothing but panties on, right? And then, I do think if you are not in shape, then there's type of outfits that you shouldn't be wearing out in public. My personal opinion, right? And I judge myself too, because if I was the size I was 10 years ago, I probably wouldn't wear tight shirts, right? Because it won't look right on me, right? I had to wear big clothes 10 years ago because I was a bit huskier, right? Now, obviously that I am super toned down. I got the muscles now. Sometimes I rock my tight shirts and it look good, right? I would say this to a lot of people. Ladies, let me tell you, when you go to a concert, when you step outside, I'm not saying you got to wear like you going to prom. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying you got to wear clothes that are comfortable so that way it doesn't look like it's uncomfortable. Right? I saw the ladies with these little, what looks like and I don't peep these things because I'm not a girl. I don't know. But there was a lot of ladies that was wearing like what looked like undergarments, but it has like the ruffle edges on it. It looked like something that, and I only say this because I have two sisters. They wore this when they were younger too, that I can remember. They had like the ruffles, but then they would put like a tutu on top of it because it was like a cute outfit for little girls, right? Now you see a lot of ladies wearing just the bottom with ruffles as shorts. A lot of ladies that were there at Chris Brown concert, I saw that, their shorts didn't look like shorts. The shorts looked like panties. And they accolade that as shorts. Now, mind you, I wore shorts too, right? I wore shorts because it's hot. Breezy was performing outside, so I wasn't wearing pants. But I got to say, I think there's a limit to the attire, right? A lot of girls with their top, again, and I'm not shaming the ladies. You wear what you want to wear. I don't care that much. But as a podcaster, I'm going to talk about it. A lot of ladies wear sports bras as their top. Okay, sure. Ain't nothing wrong with wearing a shirt. Or if you're going to wear a sports bra, maybe wear a jersey on top of it. because his theme was football theme. I didn't have anything football themed to wear for Chris Brown. And let me tell you something. I love Chris Brown. We spent enough money on the tickets. I wasn't going to go out my way to buy it. I probably would have if I felt like it, but like I wasn't gonna buy like the jersey that Chris Brown. They had jerseys at the venue for sale, but I'm pretty sure they're like $500. Like I'm sure they're upscale some of Chris Brown's merch because it's Chris Brown and that's how they make extra money. I get it from a business perspective. I wasn't gonna do that. I didn't have a Atlanta Braves jersey because I'm a big fan of the Braves fans. I just haven't been able to get a jersey. So I just wore my normal attire, wore a nice pink salmon type colored shirt, white shorts, and one of my Vinci leather shoes, right? Looking good. My clothes fit me. I felt comfortable. A lot of ladies, again, I'm not picking on them, right? I peep these things. A lot of ass out. A lot of ass out at Chris Brown Saturday. I can't say about Sunday because I wasn't there on Sunday. But Saturday, a lot of ass out, right? I get it. Ladies want to step out, think they look cute. I get it. You know, a lot of ladies with their girlfriends, right? I went with my family members. Had I had a girlfriend, I probably would have took my girlfriend to Chris Brown. Definitely, absolutely, I'm taking my girl to Chris Brown. Even if I have to spend $1,000 ticket, I will do that for my girlfriend. Ladies, I'm talking to y'all, whoever you are out there. I will spend $1,000 for you to go see Chris Brown for a girl that really loves me for me, not just for my money. But besides the point, I saw a lot of ladies with their girlfriends. I saw a lot of big dogs with their girlfriends taking their girl out. That's really a good thing. Let me tell you something though. And I'm going to say this as part of the show. I saw on TikTok and social media that a lot of dudes, straight, probably homosexual, what's the word I'm looking for? Not homosexual. What's the word I'm looking for, guys? I'm looking for a word. Just a straight man that just, homophobic. There it is. Homophobic men, I think, that has said that if a dude went to go see Chris Brown, then obviously he has to be gay. Let me address that. Not only that I am an R&B artist myself, right? We got a new album, me and Dravion's new album come out September 4th. Y'all go take a listen when it comes out on Thursday, right? It does not make a man gay to go see a male artist. Chris Brown, literally, all his songs is talking about a girl, either having sex with a girl, fingering a girl, kissing a girl, or reminiscing about a girl. That's majority of Chris Brown's songs. I don't understand the notion that a lot of dudes think that, you went to go see Chris Brown? Oh, you gay. That's so irrelevant, and that's not really, there's no weight to that statement. Right? Now, you best your ass, I was singing to Under the Influence. Right? I do say to a lot of guys who love male artists, go see your favorite male artist. It doesn't make you gay. I don't understand most of these men who have to hide their feminine side of them, I guess, or have to hide their sensitive side of them because and let me tell you why they do this. I think the men who have to act like a manly man, I'm not going to see Chris Brown, that's gay, because maybe he got taught that he had to hide his sensitivity, either from his dad or his girlfriend, maybe. Ladies, I'm not picking on y'all, but some ladies do that to where they don't attract men anymore who has a sensitive side. They say men ain't supposed to have feelings. Oh, you soft if you have emotion. Ladies say that to their boos. Some people's dads say that to their sons, like, hey, you're taught to man up and don't cry. But I'm here to tell y'all, that's a load of bullshit. I think it's okay for men to have a sensitive side and to have feelings, right? If you love Chris Brown, because let me tell you guys something, I'm straight, but I fucking love Chris Brown. I love him for his music. I love him for his artistry. I love that he was able to get out of the trenches, become very a celebrity famous, but then he had some things with Rihanna, some things with Karuchi, some things with himself personally that got him in trouble, but he rebelled from that. He rise from that, and he's giving us some great slaps to sing and dance to. And that does not make me gay. That makes me be an avid R&B lover and an R&B fan of Christopher Maurice Brown. So for all of you men out there, let's stop saying that going to go see a male R&B artist makes you gay, because I'm sick of it. I'm sick of all these manly men acting like they can't have feelings and emotion because they're supposed to man up. I'm 100% man. I said some bullshit, and I know how to be a man, but I'm also so keen with my sensitive side. That's probably why I ain't got no girlfriend yet, because, again, ladies, I'm not picking on you, but there's a lot of ladies who don't want men with feelings, and that is the wildest shit to me. Right? I like to have feelings and emotions about certain things. And hell, sometimes, yeah, I tap into my feminine side of myself. I hate this conversation because, I'm loving it for the podcast, but I hate it when men have these conversations because men say the same thing about keeping your house clean, keeping your bed made, keeping your car nice and tidy, taking a bath. It is wild, people. People think you gay if you take a bath. Like, I just don't understand that. Now, for me, I keep my house clean. When I get up in the morning, my bed is made. If I'm late to work or late somewhere, I'm going to be late. That bed needs to be made, right? I keep my car washed and clean and tidy. I change my drawers every day, sometimes twice a day, right? I wear drawers when I go to the gym. I sweat that out. I'm wearing some fresh new drawers, right? That doesn't make me gay. That makes me an adult. It makes me a man. A very clean man. So when I pulled up to see Christopher Maurice Brown on Saturday, I didn't felt that I was gay. I felt that I was going to have a bomb ass time singing and bopping to most of Chris Brown's bops and having a great time. So to my men out there, let's stop assuming that about ourselves. Let's stop saying to another man that he is gay because he went to go see Chris Brown. Another argument to be had, some guys say, you watch Chris Brown grind on this girl, right? Because we seen it. He was grinding on that girl on Saturday. I watched it. I didn't record it because I didn't want to record the whole program. I watched Chris Brown grind on that girl. Grinding on that girl, kiss that girl. I don't know. They kissed, but then the lights went off. I watched Chris Brown do that because in my mind, I'm taking notes. Because fuck, if Chris Brown grinding and she joining joining in the grind, Chris is doing his arching his back. It's not me saying, ooh, shit, that's hot. I'm saying, ooh, shit, I need to learn from that. Because one of these days, not trying to get gross, but one of these days, if I'm going down having a good time with a girl of my dreams, I need to know and learn how to do that stuff. Learning how to do it better. right? So if Chris Brown's doing it, I'm like, okay, he did this, he did that. I'm taking notes. It doesn't make me gay. I didn't say, oh shit, that's hot. I didn't say, oh, I wish Chris would do that to me. I didn't say that. My mind is, damn, he's grounding this girl, and that's what girls like. I need to take notes. So that kind of teaches me a couple things. Man, it's okay to take notes from another guy when it's going down to sexual pleasure. I do that all the time, and it's not. And I'm careful because that's what porn does. I don't watch porn like that. But when I see it on a performance or on a TV show, I'm like, okay, maybe I should try that. Maybe that could be better. Maybe I could do that a little bit more better. I'm taking notes. I just got to say it. It doesn't make you gay as a man to go see Chris Brown, right? I wanted to see Tank when Tank was in town. I was doing something. I guess I was out of town, I was in Chicago when Tank came to Atlanta. I want to go see Tank. Yes, Chris Brown, Tank, Bryson Tiller, Javion, all of them, they sing it for the ladies, to the ladies. I get it. But we can be fans too. We can. Let's stop having that conversation, man. Let's stop assuming that men are gay because they went to go see a male artist, right? Does it make the ladies a lesbian if they go see their favorite female artist? You got to ask yourself that. Now, granted, there might be some men who are gay and went to go see Chris Brown. We don't judge. You do you, boo. Same question. If a female artist is performing in his own tour and the ladies went to go see, there might be some ladies who are lesbian that went to go see their female artist. You do you. You do you, but it doesn't make you gay as a man, a straight man, to go see Chris Brown. And I did not feel that at all when I went to go see Chris Brown. I had a bomb time. Would have I loved to have a girlfriend to take Chris Brown to? Yeah, absolutely. That is not in the cards for me. It's coming. I feel like it's coming soon, but I didn't have a girlfriend at the time on Saturday. So yeah, my family bought tickets. I went with the fam. But would I have had a girlfriend with me? Sure, if I had one, right, to go see Chris Brown? Absolutely. Absolutely. So let's stop having that conversation, man. But besides that, concert was good. We pulled up. Bryson Tiller performed. Very, very good. I think Bryson Tiller had a bigger pop on Sunday and then he did on Saturday. Bryson Tiller came out and everybody was singing to it, but he didn't. I feel like Bryson Tiller didn't have the big pop like he did on Sunday. But when it comes down to it, Bryson Tiller did their thing. It's very, very amazing. I love to see it. Good artist. I can tell Bryson Tiller might be going through something. I'm gonna be honest with you. I didn't really like his what's it, the Solace album. I only like 2 songs from that whole project. So I was like, ugh. I think Bryson Tiller should come back to his R&B bag a little bit more. Don't do the rapping shit that he's been doing because it just doesn't suit well in my opinion. But he was okay. He performed his old slaps that just banged the most. I think he stick to his R&B bag and this tour. Summer Walker was there, which I had no idea Summer Walker was going to be there. Summer Walker was there. She performed her greatest hits. I love Summer Walker. Performance was great. She interacted with the crowd really well, really well. She gave the mic to one lady to sing one of her songs, and the girl, she couldn't sing, but it's okay. I mean, when I sing, I have to auto-tune my stuff too. So, but she was singing, I was tripping out because it's just like to see somebody who don't know how to sing one of their songs. It was just very, very funny. But she got to pop, and then you're close to Summer Walker, so that's your moment. And then after that, DJ Fresh was doing his thing. He was the DJ for Chris Brown, and long behold, Chris Brown came out and did his thing, and it was very, 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 very good. But when it comes down to Summer Walker's performance, was very, very good. Great backup dancers for sure. Her voice, and let me tell you something, it's good if you perform really, really well. If your voice sounds just like your actual songs and you know what you're saying. Obviously, artists don't recite word for word exact within their performances. Of course, they take a break to take a breather because they're not only singing, but they're dancing, they're doing moves, they're doing all of these things. That's a part of it. I really love her set design. All the girlies came out, all the ladies came out to sing Summer Walker. That was a nice surprise because honestly, I knew Bryson Taylor was the opener because I think he's also from Atlanta too. I was surprised with Summer Walker. That was a complete surprise in my opinion. And then Summer Walker did this thing where it was a great promo marketing opportunity. She said at the end of her performance there on the Titantron and on the stage, the text was, "You're invited to something special." And on the side panels, it was a QR code to something. I think it's a QR code to announce that a new album is coming. And when I tell you that is like this smartest marketing move ever. First, you're on Chris Brown's tour. You're doing your performance, giving your buzz back out there, and you get to promote your own stuff, right? Big artists won't let you promote your own stuff like that. I'm sure she paid something for that because that doesn't come free, but that's good. That's good marketing. I do hope there's new music for Summer Walker. I really do. She is a great artist, and she's just really, really great at what she does. DJ Fresh, again, interacting with the crowd. I really do like that. I didn't really like, he was just cussing a whole heck of a lot. Like, it was like unnecessary cussing. And I cussed too, because I just cussed a whole bunch in this episode. But like, all right, I'm like, how many times can you say the S word? Like, and I know he's acting, he's performing with the crowd, he's acting it out, but it's just like, at the part, it was getting kind of unnecessary. And speaking of what unnecessary, I saw on TikTok as well, and we'll say this because we're gonna move on, right? But I saw that a section was cut out from some people's seating because Live Nation, they say Chris Brown redid his stage. Honestly, I don't think Chris Brown knew exactly what happened with people. There were some people, because there's this one lady, she was on Channel 2 Action News about it. She couldn't get into the concert because her seat was no longer there because they restructured the stage. And she couldn't get reassignment and she couldn't get in. Then they closed the gate on her along with a whole bunch of other people, and she couldn't get into the concert. I really hope they get their money back because there are people who spend thousands upon thousands on this ticket. I didn't spend thousands upon thousands to go see Chris Brown. I think if you have floor seats, it's not really worth it because when you have a floor seat and you're not in the first 3 rows, you really can't see, right? Every time I go to a WWE event, I'm either the first to the 4th row seats. If I can't get those seats or like an elevated seat, I'm not going because it doesn't make sense for me to go to, let's say, the 7th row on the floor seat and everybody's standing. You can't really see because everybody's doing this number here cheering. You can't see the actual artist. It's not really worth of a good time, right? So where we were sitting, we were behind the home plate, and we were far, but we weren't that far. We could see Chris Brown clearly. We had to really rely on the screen to see like his facial features, but to see it and to perform it live, and we didn't spend thousands upon thousands, that was all right with me. And the music was very loud enough to where everybody was having a great time. And the crazy thing is, you know, she couldn't get into the concert. A lot of people couldn't get into the concert. A lot of people were upset because they paid over $1,000 for floor seats and they didn't quite get that. I feel really bad for those people. I really genuinely do hope they get their money back because, you know, that's not fair. You know, that's not fair that people work really hard and probably spent their rent money. I'm joking, but spent their rent money to go see Chris Brown and they didn't get what they got. You know, I don't think it was Chris Brown's fault necessarily, but they got to make that right because that's not fair. But Chris Brown comes on stage. He's doing his thing. He's performing. Let me tell y'all got to have the energy to go see Chris Brown. Chris Brown did what looked like 3 to 4 hour show nonstop. We didn't leave there until like after 11, after 11, close to 12. That's when Saturday events has happened. Chris Brown's doing his thing. He's singing his bops. He's performing. He got this thing where he shoots up in the air. He's flying all over Truist Park. That man's an alien. Chris Brown is an alien. He's not human. He is not human. This man is not human. But it was a great concert. 20 years of Chris Brown. He explored, his vulnerable side of him being in trouble a lot, and he sing his troubling type songs. But then he saw his R&B bag, right? He performed It Depends, right? It was an intermission. DJ Fresh dropped the beat. It was It Depends, and Chris Brown's doing the It Depends challenge, right? Very, very good show. And then towards the end of it, he wraps it up with the song Forever. Fireworks are sparking through. I left during the Forever performance because that was the last song of the night. Let me tell you, when you go to a big concert, leave the show early. If you know that an artist performing that one last song where fireworks is going down, they're about to do their curtsy, they're about to end the show, leave that bitch early. Because everybody will come rushing out. And everybody did. Everyone came rushing out. And luckily, I parked in section E. So I ran, not run, but I sprinted to my car because I knew all hell was about to break loose in traffic Saturday night from Breezy Bowl. So I ran to the car, got in the car, I left. And my family members, we were driving. I was like 20 minutes away from the house. Folks calling me like, you made it in yet? Like, yeah, I'm about 10 minutes from the house. Oh, we still here. We ain't moved. And I'm like, whoa. Wait, the concert ended about an hour ago. They still stuck in traffic. So I say that to say when you are going to a concert, leave that event early, right? I do think Truist Park, to wrap up, because we've been talking about this thing for 40 minutes. This might be a long podcast, but we've been Truist Park, I don't think they were ready for Chris Brown, the layout of Chris Brown. I got to say, I don't think they were ready for it because there was a lot of unprofessional people working. There were a lot of people waiting to get in. They closed the gate on certain people. They couldn't accommodate everybody for what they paid because of the stage structure. So it was a mess. The setup wise was crazy, but we hope that I hope next time because Chris is coming back in October. I think he might be at Mercedes next time. I don't know, but he got his money, right? A lot of people came out to these things, night 1 and night 2. But I think there's got to be some better reactions, better outlooks when it comes down to it, I think. So that's the top story of Breezy Bowl. And then Sunday, I got up, I went to church. I went to a new church, by the way. It's called Change Church, T. Change Church out there in Duluth area. They have 2 locations. They have a Duluth location and they have a DeKalb location. I went to the Duluth location because I'm a little bit closer to the Duluth location than I am the DeKalb version. Getting back into it, I told Evelyn on what happened was on Friday. I'm getting back into me going back to church. I go to church, but I took a break because we got busy. I think I need to get back into it, honestly. It's one of those things that I need to get back into the limelight of going to church and just doing my thing when it comes down to that. I got really emotional on Sunday because, although things are good, business is good. It gets stressful at times, but business can become good. We're doing a lot of media, a lot of filming, a lot of content. But things also get to me, right? And I only say that because I think things get to me now, guys, simply because I'm going through, I don't know if it's midlife crisis or not, but if you guys know, I'm at the age of 29. And typically those things happen in your mid-30s, your early 30s to your mid-30s. I'll be 30 next year. And even I have my moments, right? You guys see it on my social media. You see it on the podcast episodes or Broco podcast that, things are excellent. And I try to, it's not a front for that as well. It's just, I have my days, right? Everybody has their days where if something's not quite right, something's not working right, you got to pray to God. You got to pray that things do work out. But when things are not working out, you get a little bit stressed, right? So I'm learning to be, obedient and being faithful and going back to church and getting into the word. Change Church. I really love that church because I love the production side of the church, right? Cameras and lights The choir, the band, the singers, they're amazing. They actually sing songs that I can actually sing, and actually have a great time bopping to. And then shout out to I doubt they're watching the podcast, but shout out to Pastor Darius Daniels. And his wife Shanika Daniels. They run both the churches, right? After his 9 a.m. service, he said, okay, gotta head it to DeKalb, right? Because DeKalb has a service about an hour after our service. So he jets to DeKalb for that second service. So very, very awesome. I do encourage people to go try out Change Church. That might be something you might like. A lot of people go to that church too. So you got to be there early. Be there on time because you got to find parking. And once you find parking, you got to find seating because everybody goes to that church. That is my new favorite church. That is my new home church that I go to in the Duluth. And if you watch the show and you know me, come say hey. I'm a very nice guy. Come say hey if you want to say hey to me. But that is my new favorite, and that's what I did on Sunday. And then I'm learning to be more disciplined with my workout. So you best believe I went to the gym right after church. It was amazing. So let's move on. That was a great, great weekend. This might be a beefy podcast, a long one, because we're 44 minutes, and I'm not even done with half the topics we got to talk about. But if you like it, let me know. All right, so let's talk about it. Monday Night Raw. So if you guys watch Broco podcast on yesterday, Monday, Labor Day, we gave you guys an 2-hour show. And I talked about Clash in Paris. Clash in Paris is what we talked about. If you guys want to know more on that, go watch yesterday's podcast because I talked about Clash in Paris. I won't rehash that here. I'm here to talk about Monday Night Raw, the day after Clash in Paris. So Monday Night Raw, you had the Judgment Day. Of course, Raquel Rodriguez, Roxanne Perez versus the Kabuki Warriors. You had the New Day and Gracie Waller versus War Raiders and Penta. The women's world title situation was addressed. Roman Reigns update was also addressed. Dominic Mysterio versus AJ Styles was also addressed for that match. Then we had CM Punk's relating issue, and then you had Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker versus LA Knight and Jey Uso. Roman Reigns update issue was addressed. He's out indefinitely. I think there's a repeating cycle, T, where he comes back for a big pop, comes to a couple of shows, works a big match, gets injured, and then he's out. He's out for a while, and then he comes back for that big pop, and then it's like a cycle. This is what I said in Broco podcast yesterday. Roman Reigns is a big star where he can do that. He don't have to work as hard as he used to because he knows he'll get the ones up in the air. He'll know he'll get that big pop, right? I do wish we saw Roman Reigns a little bit more in the storyline, but again, he's a big star. He can do that. We're going to see at WrestlePalooza, ESPN's newest pay-per-view, where it's going to be Stephanie Vaquer versus Io Sky. I feel bad. I feel glad for Stephanie Vaquer now having her moment, but I feel bad for Rhea Ripley because I think she does deserve another chance at the title at the championship, but she won't be able to get that moment there. So I do feel bad when it comes down to it because this is just one of those things that I love to see it. Now, of course, the show did start with Jey Uso. He said, don't mess with my family because obviously Roman Reigns is out indefinitely due to his injuries. Of course, when it comes down to it, we're going to have that big pop, of course. Bronson Reed, Braun Breaker comes out. LA Knight comes out as well and says, hey, I want a piece of this action. I'm pissed off because I lost the match too. But now Adam Pearce makes it official that, yes, we're going to have a tag team match at the main event of Raw, which logically it makes sense because now they have to follow up from Clash in Paris's night events. Of course, you had Judgment Day versus the Kabuki Warriors. There's a storyline to where that Asuka says to Io Sky that we don't want your help, right? Because you said you didn't want our help, right? So we don't need your help. Asuka's getting back into the limelight of things. Of course, Rhea Ripley was there as well. Asuka got in Rhea Ripley's face and said, "Hi, see how we did?" Because they did win the match against Judgment Day, of course, within that. The Prodigy and the Empress of Tomorrow started their teams off in a basic lockup struggle when it comes down to it. Perez slapped Asuka and then immediately retreated out of the ring to avoid the kick. Within that matchup, of course, the Kabuki Warriors does defeat the Judgment Day team. This was a decent match. By the way, it ended, stood out a bit strange, especially from the unusual flawless Asuka. Again, very notable moments that Io Sky has shown talking to Asuka and saying backstage, and it was clear that Asuka did not want her help on Monday night. Of course, Rodriguez did a surprisingly amount of selling for Sane, and Perez and Rodriguez have grown into a fun team. They use their size difference as well into this match. I do like it that Asuka and Kairi Sane's getting back into it. We'd love to see it. The next matchup was Finn Balor versus Dragon Lee. Again, I've said this in many, many podcast episodes. I'm glad to see that Dragon Lee is doing his thing, is getting back more into the TV limelight of things. Of course, JD McDonough was accompanying Finn Balor. Again, I laughed because, overseas, JD McDonough had a chant. It's called Massive, Massive Head, Massive, Massive Head. Because JD McDonough, let me tell you, he has a big head. He has a big cranium. He's big. So Balor does defeat Lee in this matchup. They gave it a B. I do like this heel turn between Finn Balor. I think, it's a lot of things that happen to Finn Balor that now he's getting a limelight of things. And it feels good to see him be back at what he's got going on, for sure. And then we had another tag team match. A lot of tag team matches tonight or Monday night. New Day and Grayson Waller versus the War Raiders and Penta. Good to see the War Raiders back in action, on the contending for the championship belt and the bout there. Of course, New Day is bouting out from their morning season, of course, with them losing the championship belts. And of course, they've had a long time rivalry with Penta, a very, very long time. It's good to see Grayson Waller, I guess, be on TV. Of course, Penta and War Raiders does defeat the New Day and Waller in a B-. Great score for that as well. Work out to the New Day's music. I really do. It's good to see the War Raiders. They're back into it. This is the match that I've been very impressive to see. Dominic Mysterio versus AJ Styles. Let me tell you something. Like him or hate him, Dominic Mysterio, he's growing on me. He's getting better each match he does, right? Dominic Mysterio, I wasn't a big fan when he first stepped into the scene, right? I thought it was nepotism. I thought, hey, your dad's Rey Mysterio. Oh, you got thrown into this, right? But years later, Dominic Mysterio has grown on me. He's grown on me to the fact that where he's doing a lot of moves, a lot of shifts, a lot of moves that might be impressive, right? I do want to see, and I said this, I do want to see AJ Styles get the belt eventually, right? You got a Grande Americano showed up and knocked Styles out of it. Let me tell you, AJ Styles, Monday night, last night, he had the crowd bumping. Like, the crowd in Paris for AJ Styles' entrance was so loud, you could not hear AJ Styles' theme song. You cannot hear it whatsoever because the crowd overpowered his theme song. And he was interacting with the crowd because that's what you do as a superstar. If you got a huge, massive pop, then you say bunk your music and your posing, you're going to interact with that crowd. It was so loud that even Wade Barrett and Michael Cole couldn't commentate over that. They said, okay, let's mute up. Let's ISO for a minute. Right? Really, really dope. Sad to see that, AJ Styles did lose due to El Grande Americano, but good big pump. Now, here's what's coming next. Again, I say this out of respect, too. I think, and I hope this happens. So, Becky Lynch retains her championship bout at Clash in Paris, right? Becky Lynch has a bone to pick with Punk. Of course, Punk has been waiting for Seth Rollins the entirety of the night. He comes out to the ring, cuts a promo. Best in the world, yada, yada, yada. Seth Rollins music hits. I'm like, all right, we about to see Seth Rollins come out. Okay. But no, T. We got Becky Lynch coming out on behalf of Seth Rollins. It clicked. I said, ooh, something's about to happen. To where CM Punk's in the ring with Becky Lynch, the wife of Seth Rollins. And then you have it to where the crowd, guess who they cheering for? Miss AJ Lee, the wife of CM Punk. They cut a promo. And I'm like, oh shit, is AJ Lee about to come out tonight? Like, she's about to come out tonight. Like, because I love AJ Lee. I think she's very talented. I'm like, damn, we're about to see AJ Lee back in the fray. They kept teasing it the whole night. And I'm like, okay, is she coming or not? Like, pause. Well, maybe not. Yeah. Is she coming or not? Is she coming out or not? What's going on? Because y'all teasing this so much. And then you had it to where Seth Rollins comes out and say, you want to talk to me in my face? Come and get me. Becky Lynch is in the way of CM Punk. And then it's like trying to, I'm like, AJ Lee's about to come out of here. Some way, somehow. They teased it. She didn't come. I'm like, what a buzzkill. They're going through after their promo. CM Punk's going through the back, talking to Adam Pearce, pissed off, and say, hey, where's SmackDown going to be at next time? Chicago. Who lives in Chicago? CM Punk and AJ Lee as a married couple, they reside in Chicago. SmackDown is in Chicago this Friday. We are going to see AJ Lee's return on SmackDown, right? Because she's already there. She's probably like packing up and getting ready for this contract with WWE. And I wouldn't be surprised if we're going to see CM Punk, AJ Lee versus Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch at WrestlePalooza at ESPN. I think that's what's going to happen. I hope that's what's going to happen, right? There's been on Instagram and TikTok and Twitter, a whole bunch of AJ Lee videos and content. They're cooking up something. And I can't wait to see it. CM Punk says you're going to regret, because, Becky Lynch was slapping the crap out of CM Punk. Punk said you're going to regret ever touching me. AJ Lee. Because you're not going to hit a woman. AJ will then, right? Husband and wife duo is what we're going to see with this storyline. I can't wait. AJ Lee, it's time for her return. I think it's about that time. And then you had Jey Uso, LA Knight, Braun Breaker, Bronson Reed as the main event. Very, very good matchup when it comes down to it. A lot of slobber knocker matches. When it comes down to it, Reed and Uso starts the match night. Quickly tagged in to give his teammates some help. Of course, Uso and LA Knight also almost made a successful comeback, but Breaker was able to get the victory with a spear. And as usual, winning wasn't enough. The heels kept on the attack. Of course, Big Jim, hits the ring after that match with a chair in the aid of his brother. Big Jim, let me tell you, Jimmy Uso might be entwined to the storyline because let me tell you, he got a baby on the way. He got to make some money, right? Naomi's pregnant. She got a baby on the way. They got to make some money for this baby that's getting ready to come in the next 9 months. Now, very, very good when it comes down to this storyline. I can't wait to see. I do wait to see. I do like that the vision is kind of separating from Seth Rollins for a second because Seth Rollins now has Becky Lynch. And now they got that storyline. Have the Vision have their own storyline because it's separate for them. And let them do their thing on their end, right? Overall, very, very good. Very, very good show off for sure on Monday Night Raw. Again, SmackDown's in Chicago. AJ Lee is on her way back to WWE. Could that? It looks that way. I hope so. I really do hope so. I really do hope that this thing happens when it comes down to it. So shout out to WWE and Monday Night Raw. Told you guys it's going to be a beefy podcast. It probably will. Coming up next, I got another top story here to talk about here today on the podcast when it comes down to it. And let's get into it.
Some of y'all might know this, and some of
It's
y'all
game
don't.
review.
Let's do it.
K.L.P has all the topics, stories, and gossip. It is now time for our top story from K.L.P.
So another top story for K.L.P Aftermath podcast presented by Our Heart Media. Let me tell you something. Video games. Let's talk about it. I still haven't bought Metal Gear Solid, the remake. I haven't. I'm torn between that and Borderlands 4 as a big purchase, right? Because these games, they, $70. That's, But I did pick up this game on behalf of Our Heart Media because this game is $40. And this is a good one. Gears of War Reloaded. Now, if you guys know about the Gears of War, Gears of War, it has started the impeccable version of your Call of Duties a little bit. For the Xbox. It was solely for Xbox. Of course, you're playing as Marcus Phoenix, the origin story of Marcus Phoenix getting freed. Now he's serving the organization, and now he's going through defeating these monsters out there in the world. That's Gears of War. You get to work with Coltrane, and Carmine was in there before he got killed, right? Bayard is there as well. You're working with the Gears of War team to fight off these aliens for Gears of War. We all know about the Gears of War story. We get it. I played this one, all of them, second, third, the fourth one, the fifth one I played when I had Game Pass. Fifth one wasn't that bad. It was short, but it wasn't that bad. But they remade this one. Gears of War Reloaded was remade, playable for PlayStation 5. I think the console war is over. Because Gears of War was an Xbox exclusive game. But they crossed it over for PlayStation. And I don't think this will be the last Xbox exclusive game to cross over on PlayStation. Now, it was a little bit jarring and funny to see the Xbox Game Studio logo on a PlayStation 5 console playing. That was a bit jarring, right? I never thought I'd see today. But it was real. Running at a top of 120 frames per second for both campaign and multiplayer. Of course, Metacritic gives it a 79%. IGN gives it an 8. I think this game is worth it. With the new frames per second, the haptic feedback, I think is a nice touch when Marcus or whoever's on a radio, whoever's on the other side of that radio, you get to hear it within the controller, right? That's a nice touch. I didn't really like the shakiness, like when you're walking, it shakes because it's trying to create that dynamic feel that you're walking, especially when you're shooting and you're running. It felt a little bit off to me. I was getting a little bit too much motion sickness, so I turned that off. And it's, to me, that's much smoother without the shakiness. I do like that haptic feedback in the triggers. I like that. Some people didn't like that because it was just kind of too stiff for them. I like it because it's as if you're holding an actual gun, right? I'm here for that. The gameplay with performance mode is really good. The ray tracing, the graphics look really, really good in this one. And I can tell that this, Gears of War story mode, campaign mode was quite long. So it's obviously going to be long. Obviously, it's a replay, it's a redo, right? There's nothing new with the story, but it just looks prettier and it has the haptic feedback and the adaptive triggers and the frames per second. That's what people buy games for now because it looks really beautiful. Have I died multiple times in this game? Yes, I have. This game can be tough as nails when you have it on a certain difficulty. But I do like this one, and it is really worth it. The $40, I think this game is worth it. I honestly do. I can't wait when they do Gears of War 2, 3, 4, and 5 remakes for PlayStation. I'm sure it's coming because they made some money. Xbox and PlayStation and the Coalition, they made some money from this remake. And they said, we'll do the first one as a test to see if we make the sales. Right? If we make the sales, then we're going to keep making these. We're going to keep doing our thing. And that's when we're going to see Gears of War 2, Gears of War 3 remade for PlayStation eventually down the line. Like I say, this one was really, really good. And we hope that you guys enjoy this one. Again, this one's worth the $40. It is. It is. Really good. Really good. So coming up next on the podcast as well. Now, this is a kind of review. I'm still working on the button for the reviews. I do need to get a button like that. I'm probably going to work on that today in the studio because I have to do that. And this is going to be the main event of the show because, you know, we've got a beefy podcast for y'all. This is a review. And I do like the documentary series for both Hulu, Netflix, Disney, and HBO Max. I think there are a lot of good docu-series out there that's really, really good. And this one, I got to say, is actually not bad. Boy, howdy, let me tell you. High school is so different now than when I was in high school. Now, mind y'all, let me date y'all for a minute. I graduated high school 10 years ago. Class of 2015, our motto was making history, right? Because the IS in history was the number 15. I'm representing the class of 2015. Tells you how old I am. 10 years ago, I graduated high school. High school is so funny and different for these new kids. It's kind of not funny. So there's this new documentary, because it's not a series, it's a documentary. It's a crime documentary. It's called Unknown Number, The High School Catfish. It came out on August 29th, available on Netflix. And let me tell you, it's about a teen girl and her boyfriend. They face pretentious harassment from an unknown caller. Police investigate for months on the determined discovery of a relationship that upends their initial assumption. So it's about this girl named Lauren who was dating this guy named what's his name? Evan, I think his name is. And Owen. So it's Lauren and Owen. Owen was getting these random unknown texts calling Lauren, you know, like skank, slut, you bitch, like you're ugly. No one wanted your flat chested ass. Owen doesn't want you. He wants me. And a spoiler alert too, because I might spoil this because I got to review it. Lauren has all these friends, and at first, when I first saw this, because I was at the house, I was in my living room eating some ice cream, watching this, and I'm like, she has these friends like Sophie and Macy and Kendra. Kendra is that's Lauren's mama. But she had all these friends, and I said one of her friends did it. Obviously, duh, right? You had it to where, you know, you had Mike Maine, the sheriff, that was a part of it. Chloe was a good friend of Owen who flirted with Owen, who liked Owen, but then Owen was dating Lauren. So I'm like, okay, no, it wasn't Macy, right? It wasn't Sophie. It's Chloe that's doing this because obviously she likes Owen as well. Let me tell you, it's interesting. High school, because they're both athletes. So apparently Lauren was a basketball player and a softball player in high school. Owen was a football player and a basketball player in high school. And I'm like, dang, like, do you playing two sports and going to school? You're going to be a super athlete. The parents got involved, right? Now, let me date back. I didn't have a cell phone until I was at the age of 15. In my day, I didn't have a cell phone at age 10. Age 5. I didn't have an iPhone. No. Our parents said, no, you're not getting a phone. Back in those days. Nowadays, a 5-year-old can have an iPhone. which is crazy. So obviously, phones are very, very acceptable now. Everybody's on these things all the time, every time. I do think there is a moment where, and I'm learning this too, to just kind of like at night turn my phone off, put it on do not disturb. If I'm watching TV or I'm reading a book or I'm doing something more productive, my phone is off, right? Because we're doing this number here all the time. We're on the phones all the time, and people are on the phones a lot. Parents got involved because Lauren, these became like very the text became to where the stalker turns out that she's been telling Lauren to go kill herself, right? To commit suicide, go die. Go ahead and stab yourself, bitch. Go ahead and kill yourself, bitch. Right? These are very harmful words. And they're very harmful because people in today's economy, they hear these things, they feel very self-conscious about themselves. Being told that you're flat-chested or you're too skinny or you're malnourished or you're too fat or you're too pluffed, these words do hurt. Words do hurt. It's the same thing with Owen that, he was getting these words of hurt to where he thought suicidal. He thought these things. So it's one of those things that it gets very, very sad when it comes down to a stalker like this. And then, police were involved and superintendent and principal was involved because the parents would go to the superintendent and even the principal, Dan Boyer, was getting so much shit from the parents because the parents are angry, right? Lauren's mama and the dad, they're going through some financial troubles, right? And parents, in today's economy, parents are going through a lot of financial trouble. Parents are going through it. They love each other, but they have some rough times. Lauren's dad is going through a whole heck of a lot when it comes down to it. They're going through a lot of things. Jill and Dave McKinney, Owen's dad, is a cop as well. Jill works really hard. And then Chloe got involved. Adriana, Owen's cousin, got involved. They thought it was Adriana, the cousin, right? Because Adriana was on the volleyball team, but she wasn't the popular girl. So she got, picked on. She's going through it. Prosecutor got involved. Everybody got involved into this. And they gave context of everybody that was in the context and used the IP address to trace this stuff. And guess who the number traced back to? Spoiler alert, Lauren's mama. So the stalker was Lauren's mama all along. Very, very sad to see. Your own daughter tell you to kill yourself. You fat, she didn't say fat. You skinny, you ugly, you skank. Owen doesn't love you. The reason why Lauren mama did this is because she got told these things in high school. She also lied to Lauren and her husband that she had 2 jobs. She got let go for both them jobs. So you lied to your husband, right? She got sentenced because this is stalking a minor. That is a big offense, right? Stalking a minor, it just sucks because that's your own daughter that you did it to. But stalking a minor is a serious, serious felony. It's a huge crime. Harassment of a minor is worse, right? Touching a minor, obviously, that's worse. If you ever see me at the high school football games when I record, because I'm contracted out to record the football games. When I see a lot of the minors in high school, because there's a lot of kids there, I'm like, okay, don't touch me, don't touch me, don't touch me, no, don't touch me. They don't. I don't talk to that. I don't know you. Don't talk to me. Don't talk to me. Don't because they're minors, right? You don't want to fuck with that. In this case, if you stalk a minor, if you harass a minor like that, that's a serious offense. and she got sentenced. And I'm pretty sure the parents are divorced because, you lied to your husband about having these two jobs and you got let go. So now he's just working twice as hard, and it's just him and Lauren now. And it's very, very sad to see that happen for that mother to do that to their own daughter. But these things do happen. Like I say, guys, go watch it. I know if I spoiled it, I'm sorry. I got to do it as a reviewer. But it's a great, great watch on Netflix. It's about an hour and 30 minutes. So it's a quick little documentary. It's actually not bad. It's not. I do want to see that Sky Birchman, because that's the director. I do want to see like another story of this, but like not Lauren and Owen, because we already know their story. Like, are there more stories from other people, other high schoolers that's having the same issue that got documented, right? Because I like to see it. I'm interested. I'm intrigued with these documentaries because it got me like, oh, no. Like, it really got me there. I was in tune. I was like, oh, no. Like, it got me to do that when I watched it last night. So again, Unknown Number, a high school catfish. Let's see more parts of this from a different perspective. It's really, really good. Go watch it, guys. So that's going to wrap it up here on the podcast today. We hope that you guys enjoyed this one as much as I did. I know, an hour and 13 minutes. We gave y'all a beefy podcast. But as always, we hope that you guys enjoy the podcast as well. We love you guys. Thank y'all for being avid fans of this show, Broco Podcast, What Had Happened Was podcast. We do it. We do it. We're never going to stop. It's just one of those things that we're going to do. So we love our fans out there. Thank y'all so very much. That's going to wrap it up here on the K.L.P. Aftermath Podcast. I've been your host, K.L.P. Kennedy Lucas, and you have been tuned into...
You're tuned into the swanky one, New K.L.P.
And we'll see you guys in the next episode. Until then, so long, stay safe, peace. Yeah.
Made in Georgia.
Go! What's going on in Hot Atlanta? Live from Swanky 93.3 and the Heat 94.6 brings back the hottest hip-hop radio show live from K.L.P. Entertainment and K.L.P. Studios. Go! It's K.L.P. Aftermath. Your host, K.L.P. Kennedy Lucas.
You know what it is? Put your hands up.
Tune in now on any audio platform.
Go.